after the break. Just about ready for baseball. Getting the nod in this one, Spencer Strider.
It's always interesting to see how he utilizes all of his pitches and how many of those he has a good feel for on that given day. When he's right, he's really able to keep hitters guessing, and all of his stuff seems to be coming on the same arm slot, the same tunnel, and that can make life very difficult on his opponents.
Here's the second baseman, Nico Hoerner. The pitch. That one misses, and it's 1-0. Lays out, but he can't squeeze it. Not in time. Great effort, but it's an infield hit. Seiya Suzuki, the next Cub to hit. Now move to first. Corner back in on the dive. Up the middle. Sneaks through. Base hit. Throw holds him at second. But the go-ahead run now in scoring position. And still nobody out.
Well, clearly he was ready to hit right there. Just kept it simple. Played pepper with the middle of the infield and took it back where it came from. And there's just no one there to knock it down.
First and second. No outs. Ian Happ up to hit. Ground ball up the middle. That's a base hit. Hoerner flies around third. Here comes the throw. Safe.
Big swing of the bat right there to give him the lead. That was clutch. Pretty good spot. Hard and inside, but that's a perfect example of keeping your hands inside the ball, tight to the body. The ability to take that back up the middle shows his approach is to use the entire field.
Here's Cody Bellinger.
1-0.
In the dirt. Runners stay put. That's ball one.
It's great to get on the board in the first frame of the ball game, but here's an opportunity for them to really open things up with a couple of runners on. Let's see if they can cash in.
Fastball for a strike. Moving in the bullpen, Joe Jimenez getting ready to go. Madsen, a left-hander, also throwing. Suzuki, the lead runner out at second. Happ at first with no outs. Good eye right there.
Good spot for the hitter. Definitely has the advantage in this count with runners on. Look for him to be aggressive on this next pitch.
Left-hand batter waits. That one in triple digits.
That was absolute gas. Triple digits on the gun. It's just a different experience as a hitter watching that go by.
Dansby Swanson to bat next. In the air in the infield. And the infield fly is called. Here's a look at the Cubs lineup. They're dealing with a top-level arm on the mound, so this figures to be a tough matchup for them. What's the key to the offense today, Singy?
Oh, Boog, I think when you got a guy that's this talented on the mound, you got to find ways to disrupt his rhythm, make him uncomfortable a little bit. The guys that can handle the bat and perhaps, bunt for a base hit, get him moving off the mound. If you're in the box and he seems to be just in a flow, step out, mess up his timing, somehow try to get in his head a little bit, and then when he does come in the zone, you may only get one pitch. You better not miss it.
The shortstop takes the ball. And Singy, as a team, you need to make the most of the very few opportunities he's going to give you, right?
Absolutely. And if you don't get to guys like this a lot of times early, once they really settle in, it's going to be the later innings that they hand that ball over to a reliever if they do at all.
Swing and a miss. That's a strikeout. The high heat, too much on that one.
Came inside with that two-strike fastball nicely and just bunched him up on the inside part of the plate. Couldn't get around on it and catch it out front. Many times if you do, it's a foul ball. And you know, a lot of pitchers, they really don't like working inside with two strikes because they do not want to hit that batter. And when they've got him up against the ropes, got to figure out a way to put him away. Did a nice job right there.
Two on, two outs. That's inside. And now it's even 1-1. Slice the other way and foul. Righty to the plate. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. Inning over, and it could have been worse.
Well, this guy competes hard. We see the emotion there. I love it. Great job of getting out of the jam.
Back here with my pal Ziggy. And today's starting pitcher, Justin Steele. What do you got on him, Chris?
Well, the hammer is in effect, and he sets it up so nicely because of the velocity on the fastball. Will elevate that and then break you off when he's ahead in the count. What I love about him, you get into the later innings of the ballgame, and the velocity seems to go up.
Ronald Acuna Jr. swings through it for strike one.
Sometimes pitchers work him backwards, starting with the breaking ball, but it's a tricky approach. He almost wants to bait you out there to throw that stuff to start the at-bat.
That's to third. They get the out on Acuna. Here's Brian Snitker's lineup for the Braves. And Chris, they're not lacking for players that can hit the ball over the fence.
And with that said, these hitters have to be patient at the plate because the opposing pitchers are not just going to feed them fastballs down the middle. They're going to have to get deeper into counts and sometimes take the walks. But when they get their pitches, they don't usually miss them, and that's what I'm expecting to see here in this one.
Ozzie Albies in the box with one away as he takes ball one. Not even close there. Yeah, that's ball two. There's a strike. That's a strike across the top of the zone. Down, base is empty. Spoils that one, and it remains 2-2. And another ball.
Well, he's so great about hitting the ball the other way. He gets those arms extended. So right there, just trying to straighten him up a little bit so he doesn't have as much outside plate coverage.
And that one is lifted in the air. Suzuki on the move. He's got it. And there are two outs. Here's Austin Riley.
If you don't get ahead in the count, you can forget about having any success against him.
First pitch misses.
1 ball, no strike.
Two out, space is empty. In the air, out towards right center. Bellinger